right. So we're just finishing up this battle in Dorter here. I talked about in the last video where I was doing some grinding that I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to use the mixture of classes. Now, I still want everybody kind of in their primary uh, role like they would be, or job, I should say, if they were the enemy in Grog. So I want the female character primarily, or in all story battles, to be a thief, etc. But I am going to allow them to use each other's skills, so to speak. So, for example, I might let the thief equip crossbows. I think it could make for some interesting combinations. You can see Charm is working extremely well in this battle. She had some good compatibility with a few of these enemy units. And this is a hard battle. Like when you come in here with kind of weaker classes like I have here, honestly, her as the thief charming them has made all the difference. I let my lovely guests here just handle this archer. He can be a little bit of a menace, but with his longbow, which you can't even get at this part in the game otherwise, but I think they're going to handle him nicely together. It looks like one hit each, and they've taken him out. In some past playthroughs of the game, I've kind of redone the battle until I get him to drop the treasure chest with the longbow so I can have it early for the next story battle, but I don't think it really makes that big of a strategic difference to have it, so we're not going to be aiming for anything like that here. So like I said, I'm allowing secondary skills from any of the other respective classes I'm utilizing in here. So for example, Ramza is going to be operating primarily as a chemist, but he had some squire skills there. So we're just finishing off the rest of the battle. I didn't show the entire battle. I tried to record a longer voiceover in another attempt of this battle where I actually got all the way till the last enemy and I lost, but I totally like burned out my sick person throat doing that voiceover attempt, so hence the shorter version here. I had to wait, about an hour until I could speak again as well, but this is probably only going to be a 4-minute video in the end, so I think I can handle speaking for 4 minutes. Okay, so they've taken out my thief, which is unfortunate. Maybe I should have kept charming, but with only 2 enemy units remaining and my entire team still alive, this is probably, easily the best it's gone for me in any of my previous attempts. I didn't bring my male squire. I opted to stick with the, probably what was going to be the easiest squad to bring into the story battle, just because I did anticipate this being a difficult battle. Although now that I've restocked my items like my potions and my phoenix downs, I suppose it's not overly difficult from that perspective. It's also in some ways rare for our lovely guests to play so strategically and so intelligently. In other attempts at Dorter, I've seen them just rush the enemy and get bombed by all the black mage spells and just get kind of eviscerated right off the get-go. So that's been nice to see them just kind of take down that opponent for us up at the top, because he can be a huge pain. I've had iterations of this battle where he's hitting 24 damage for each longbow attack from the top. I brought my female squire in a different run, and she was KO'd. He just targeted her in the first 3 turns of battle, and I didn't have any Phoenix Downs in that version. But anyway, I digress. So that's Dorter 1 now. Again, maybe I should have shown the whole battle, but really what happened in the beginning was just walking up and charming the enemies. So not a whole lot of a strategy to that other than just luck. She had some extremely good percentage chances. We didn't miss a single steel heart. She charmed at 79%, 63%, things like that. So that was really good. I didn't try on the enemy she had poor compatibility with. For example, I didn't try to charm anybody who one of the black mages was 41%. So I was using focus with my units, so they were able to just walk up and kill the mages while they're casting for higher damage. Anyway, that kind of wraps up Dorter and gives a little bit more background on the run. So just to recap, I am going to run them as they are kind of class locked, right? So they're going to be, the female's going to be a thief, but I would, for example, allow her to use archer or squire or chemist abilities to mix and match in there. So I hope that makes sense. I'm excited to continue with this run, and we'll see you in the next one.